Hey ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to the channel. As always, it is Nick here, back with your daily crypto news and analysis, and today I'm going to be talking about the overall crypto market. Now, with this in mind, I just want you guys to hit that like button. For every single like you hit on this video is one yacht personally delivered to your house today. But in all seriousness, it just does help the channel grow immensely. And of course, you guys already know I always do greatly appreciate it. I am recording this a little bit ahead of time, so prices are most likely subject to change. But when we look at a lot of things happening right now in this market, it does print a little bit of a clearer picture to me, and that is fear. We need fear, right? And we did see the, fear and greed index today at about 20 in terms of extreme fear. This is not the first time that we've seen this. Honestly, you guys know that I am a buyer of fear. I love to buy when things are fearful, and I love to sell when things are greedy. I've always said this multiple times. Do not just trade the chart, trade emotions. When things look extremely bullish, everyone is screaming, it's going higher, it's going higher. It's most likely a good time to take your profits and run, because after that, we will most likely see a correction. So, again, just be prepared for what's about to happen. In regards to this market, I would say, capitulation is a killer right now. I think that the market overall is capitulating on weak hands. I think that, we still need a lot more money to actually be sold out and really, have that mass capitulation event. If anything, that would be Bitcoin, really kind of driving the lows down to about like 37.5K to even possibly 37K exact. And I've said these targets for a little bit of time now. But that is my, of course, low targets on Bitcoin. I do believe that we are still going to see an incredible run throughout the entire market very, very soon. And I've addressed this multiple times. So let's talk about a few things. And then, we're going to talk about where altcoins kind of play a pivotal role here, specifically XRP, XLM, and things like that. So, I do plan on doing a market update later today when I do wake up. But when we look at the overall price bands of Bitcoin and we kind of compare the cycles, shout out to TechDev for this, but we do see here my view of Bitcoin's full wave structure. Zigzag correction, fall below realized price mid band. Flat corrections stay above mid band, currently at about 34.8K. So we can kind of see things happening within this chart. It's a little bit more of a visual representation for individuals that maybe are a little bit early to crypto. This is actually a little bit of a better way to kind of look at it. So we do see that parabolic primary impulse followed by that primary zigzag correction, followed by the intermediate zigzag correction, which led to the flat correction in terms of intermediate flat corrections. Now, if we look at the things happening right now within the current market structure, I know that these two sides look very different. That is because of the lengthening cycle, which has been going on since around the 2013-2014 bull run. Now, if we look at the current chart, aka that cycle 3, so we go back to 2017-2018. We have that parabolic primary impulse, followed by that zigzag correction. Now, this led us to about that 2020 timeframe where we had the intermediate zigzag correction, where we did have that breakdown below that mid band, which was the March of 2020 lows. And then we had this nice intermediate flat correction that we currently are really kind of trading into, where we are really having that massive sideways momentum. Now, when we look at this and we kind of compare things to the past to now, the next immediate action after this would be that overextended impulse top. Now, if that is the case, we would be seeing a fairly high price target for Bitcoin. We're talking more so about like 100K plus. And I've addressed this multiple times. This is why I've also said pay attention to things that are happening around this market. But when we look at the current structure around this market compared to, emotions, I think a lot of individuals are getting way too emotional. I think that, in terms of calling every single correction a bear market, which we've been seeing so many times, is the worst way about going about this market specifically, because it is money at the end of the day. You're investing money. So when you are an emotional trader, you make I'm just gonna be frank with it. You make idiotic decisions, so you capitulate and you fear every single drop. So you sell and try to short the bottom. It just doesn't work. You end up buying higher. You sell the bottom yet again. You try to buy. You buy the top. Like I've seen so many individuals sell the bottoms and buy the tops so many times. It's insane. And we do see here Bitcoin's price forms higher lows while there are lower lows in money flow index, hidden bullish divergence, Bitcoin bullish pattern. And here we have that pattern. Shout out to Stock Money Lizards here. But we do see 2013, 1,470% of an increase in price. 2017, 667% of an increase in price, followed by the 2021, 474% of an increase in price, and 2022. So this is where things get interesting. So first off, of course, when we're talking about diminished returns, yes, diminished returns are a real thing on Bitcoin. It is clear. But when we talk about this, we will most likely see around like a 200+% run on Bitcoin. That would be, us to 100K plus. And I've said this and I've showed you guys the chart as well, and it looks very good. A few people are talking about like a super cycle on Bitcoin where it extends to like 130K. This would basically be our 200% run. And I honestly think that in terms of that super cycle, it is something to really kind of pay attention to and watch out for. Shout out to Nicholas on Twitter here, or Nicholas. Sorry, I don't know why I said Nicholas like that. But when we look at this overall structure, it looks very, very similar. We compare it to like the 2010 to 2011, 2011 to 2013, and 2015 to 2017, and you can see the picture being printed here. The clear picture is that we are waiting for that impulsive move, that last wave 5. And this is going to be a monumental time in crypto. This is going to be the time where everyone that is sitting on the sidelines waiting for, us to, be wrong, right? They want Bitcoin down to 10K, 20K, 25K, 28K. I've been seeing so many targets. They want these lower targets, but it was a very similar time frame in March of 2020 where individuals wanted 3K. Now, of course, I do want to share with you guys the indices. So these I'm going to be watching on Monday. Of course, yes, these are already closed out, but look at how bearish these were. This is going to print a little bit of a better picture for us on Monday. I foresee these actually having a very strong open on Monday. We are going to be watching these very closely. But as we do look at stocks, right? Stocks are a very, crucial thing to look at in terms of crypto. Shout out to Plan C for this, the real Plan C. Bitcoin is correlated to stocks right now because of neutral demand. Once increased Bitcoin demand creates supply and demand imbalances. My thesis is this correlation to the stock market will decrease over time. Honestly, I just think that it's individuals kind of having an uncertain mind on this market right now. I think that a lot of them are watching the dollar kind of gain massive momentum, similar to the March of 2020 timeframe, where you're seeing Bitcoin kind of be I would say that it's being treated like it's in the March of 2020 crash, where we're not even near that. I mean, we're down like 52% from the all-time highs. So when we look at the overall structure, I'm not concerned at all, but there is a ton of fear throughout this market currently around Bitcoin. And I would say that it's just uncertainty around, risk on assets currently. But I do believe that once we do see, the dollar collapse, right? Because we've been addressing the dollar very closely. Once we do see that dollar collapse, that's when we are going to see that demand and confidence around risk on assets grow drastically. That will lead us to that last wave 5. And I've been addressing the US dollar collapse for a while. I've actually been documenting it and talking to you guys about it. We actually do see early signs of the dollar possibly losing some steam. Always solid content from Rickish Trades. Shout out to Rickish Trades. If you guys haven't been following him on Twitter, you definitely should. But we do see here, PA support broken on the 4-hour. Here's the breakdown in terms of the RSI. Now, of course, could this be a breakdown officially? It's possible, but we'd have to see it on Monday to really kind of, really look at the fundamentals behind this, price action. But we also do see here, careful now. Last time we broke the trend but held horizontal support. was around $6,400. Then we had a 10x from there. And here we have Bitcoin currently. So we look at this and we go down to $6,400. Again, this is during March of 2020. We look at the overall price chart here and we kind of look at that horizontal support, right? That horizontal support is key. Let's look at this. Let's talk about Bitcoin. So we are putting in higher lows at the current chart. Right now, we're going back to March of 2020 and looking at this chart right now. We look at, the Bitcoin current chart. I don't have it currently up, but I know that we have been putting in higher lows and higher highs. And once we do break out of that structure that we've been kind of just sideways momentum in, we will see a massive move from our current level. It might not be a 10x, but I could foresee us having at least a 2+x on Bitcoin, possibly even a 3 to 4x, which would be insane. But when we look at the overall moves throughout this market, I would say that Income Sharks is right on. Alt right at the horizontal support again, going to a very important level to watch to either catch some amazing entries or find a new support. And yes, this is the key. We are nearing a perfect buy point for altcoins. I would say that we need to pay attention to our altcoin holdings right now, as they are gaining some momentum in terms of targeting a very significant support zone. And I'm going to show you guys that real quick on XRP's chart and kind of compare and contrast it to the other altcoins that I usually talk about. So we talk about that horizontal support, and basically what Income Sharks is talking about is he's talking about emotion here. So human emotion is why charts are so predictable. We can't predict the future, but we can sure predict how people will react to things. In my opinion, we are here. Horizontal support. We always think what's currently happening is the worst ever until something else happens. And here he is comparing that March of 2020 timeframe, which I've told you guys is a very similar time that we are in this market, comparing the two coincidences in terms of the dollar topping and where Bitcoin is. So we have that ugly downtrend. It's not looking good. Pandemic will take it to zero. Big scary candle going to zero for sure. How can people still be bullish? Going to 2K. Diagonal broke. We are here at horizontal support. We are basically building this massive bridge in terms of support on a lot of assets, specifically even in terms of XRP, right? So I've showed you guys XRP closely on the chart multiple times, and people are still calling for much lower price action on XRP, and it's comical to say the least. So here is that weekly chart. So take a look at this, right? So when we look at this chart and we look at that horizontal support, it goes all the way back to summer, the summer lows. I've told you guys, this is a crucial area for us to hold. But even in general, if we kind of continue on this upward trend, which I know a lot of people don't look at this as an uptrend, but it technically is. If we look at the daily, we could see where we are building a little bit of support, which is at 61 cents. And I told you guys that we could target 62 cents to possibly even 55 cents if we test those lows from January. But it looks like we are holding on to some higher lows here. Of course, it depends on where Monday is. I wouldn't buy the weekend at all. The weekend is rough. But when we look at things happening around this market currently, I would say a lot of things, including altcoins, are ranging on some major support. Even the indices are on major support. So I just don't get the idea on why anyone would be bearish at this current moment. I mean, I get economically, sure, there's a lot of things that are ranging within this market that are kind of making things bearish, but overall, the structure still looks insanely bullish. I mean, look at the level that XRP is at around, and you can kind of compare it to its recent highs, but also you can compare it to its all-time highs. This is an incredible opportunity if you look at it that way. Again, massive support. A few other altcoins are very similar. In fact, we've seen XDC start to break out. And this is an asset that I've actually loaded up on in a demand zone that I told you guys about. This is hitting some resistance here, But for the most part, you could see exactly where XDC is positioning itself. Massive downtrend, sideways momentum, breakout event. A lot of altcoins are in a very similar structure. I told you guys about Hbar. Hbar looks like it's in a very bearish price action move, right? Looks like it's testing some lows going back to the summertime, though. This is where I get very, very interested in Hbar at around 15 cents. Told you guys, pay attention, because as we do see a lot of price action moves throughout this market, we will see a lot of individuals getting very bearish when things are looking actually fairly bullish. RSI in an oversold area. A lot of altcoins right now are in an oversold area. And I've told you guys to pay attention to things that are happening around, the emotions of this market. I always like to say, when people are very fearful, it's time to get a little bit greedy and look at what's happening around the charts, but also look at around what's happening in regards to the community. Because there's still a lot of individuals out there that are charting a very solid picture for you, and they are telling you specifically why you should be bullish, while everyone is screaming that it's on fire, it's burning, it's going to the floor, right? And here you have, again, Q&T. Very similar structure, building out a support zone in a nice level going back as far as the February lows. A lot of these altcoins look pretty strong, but I would say this. Do I have conviction on altcoins right now to fully ape in? Absolutely not. I don't believe that the weekend is for buying, and I've told you guys this multiple times. But I will say this, the overall structure of this entire market looks extremely bullish, and I do believe that this is going to be a massive opportunity. When we look back on things, right, everyone always looks back to that March of 2020 timeframe, and there's like, man, I wish I wasn't so fearful. I wish I could have bought so much more crypto. This is a very similar, point that we are at right now in crypto as well. So with that being said, I hope that you guys enjoyed this video. If you guys did, definitely leave a like, subscribe to notifications on if you guys want more free content. You guys are more than welcome to follow me on Twitter and join the free Discord down in the description below. As always, up to you all. Have a beautiful day or beautiful night wherever you guys are in this beautiful world. It's been Nick. Peace out, guys.